Story, singular. Narratives, plural. One reality, many summaries. We can also speak of this as unity and multiplicity. British New Testament scholar Richard Bauckham distinguishes between story and narrative in Scripture. He says that the Bible has one story, but that the Bible tells that one story through a multiplicity of narratives. One story, many narratives. What do narratives do? The story itself is whatever it is. We can't go back and change history. Narratives, on the other hand, from that unchangeable story, can alter the order of the story's events, can repeat or omit certain events and features of the story, can emphasize or downplay various events and features, can differ from each other in how they present the story or parts of the story. They can use both history and myth to make a point about the story. Authors and tellers of narratives unavoidably make three kinds of choices in how they create a narrative. They decide what to select from the story, what to include in the narrative, and what to omit from it. They decide in what order to arrange the included material, whether or where to repeat it. They decide how to compose each element in wording, phraseology, space allotted. They select, arrange, and compose their material. The distinction between narrative and story has implications. Biblical narratives of the same event can differ from each other, as the four Gospels in their way they each tell the story of Jesus, or the narrative of Jesus, we should maybe say. But the four Gospels differ from each other much less than they differ from the non-biblical narratives of those same events, such as the Gnostic Gospels. Narratives summarize parts or all of the story. They do this within Scripture, and they do this in the great creeds. But summaries cannot replace what they summarize. For the biblical story resists closure. No one summary narrative or creedal statement is all-encompassing or a rehearsal of the complete story. Landmark events in the story, personages in the story, track the story's trajectory and progress, but the story itself is unfinished, still unfolding. We do know its final goal, the consummation, but there is for now no known predetermined path to that consummation. The Scripture's many narratives then together give form and significance to the Bible's overall story. They do this piece by piece, perspective by perspective, hand in hand with the contexts of all of us later readers. And thus those many biblical narratives must be read within the context of Scripture's single, overarching, coherent story. And so, like Bilbo's ring, Scripture contains many narratives, but one story to rule them all.